Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Friday, and the Raptors beat the Bulls last night. Yeah, back from the All-Star break, and on the winning side of things with a wire-to-wire win over the Bulls. It was a very interesting game, and we're going to do some reaction to it. If you want to call me within the 10 o'clock hour. The 10 o'clock hour is the time to call. I'm going to do a half-hour ramp up till then, and we'll talk about all this stuff. But you can call me on the phone line if you have the number, and you want to call. Maybe I should start posting the number again for people because some people have been checking it. First of all, there's a Windy City Bulls 9:05 game tonight. That's right. We continue to play the Bulls. It's 3 straight nights against the Bulls. Chicago Bulls, Windy City Bulls, Windy City Bulls. And tonight we'll be playing Windy City Bulls at 7:30 p.m. tonight. So yeah, we're going to see the Bulls again tonight. So let's go ahead and do a preview for that. Who are the Windy City Bulls? Well, some of them were in the game last night. Not in the game, but around the game last night, of course. I'll go over the roster right now. Keyshawn Bryant of South Florida is on this team. Georgie Bezhansvili from Illinois. Mohamedou Gay, the former Raptors 905, is on Windy City Bulls. So we should see him playing against his former team tonight. So we'll say hi to Mohamedou. Remember Mo Gay? Yeah, he was on our team a couple years ago. Caleb Grill is on the team. Justin Jackson out of Maryland. Kevin Knox, the former New York Knick, is on the Windy City Bulls. Yuki Kawamura, who was at the game last night in street clothes, did not play for the Bulls last night, but Yuki is two-way, and he is on the Windy City Bulls also. Mac McClung should be suiting up for the Windy City Bulls tonight. The 3-time dunk champion should be out there. Lachlan Ulbrich is the other two-way, or actually he's a rookie or something. The center is probably going to be playing for Windy City. Wooga Poplar is also on this team. Lahat Teon and Ryan Woolridge. That is the roster for the Windy City Bulls. And Blake Murphy just breaking news on Blue Skies that Jonathan Mobo and Jamison Battle have been assigned to play in the G League game tonight. So Battle is with the G League team. And I'm pretty sure that Lawson and Martin will be there too. Pretty sure, because the Raptors are fully healthy as of last night. We had our entire roster available to us last night. So that means the two ways should be with the 905. Yeah. And so Elijah, AJ Lawson, Jonathan Mobo, and Jamison Battle, all available for Andrew Jones and 905 tonight. We have not seen Jamison Battle on the G League team very much this year. So this may be worth watching, guys, to see tonight the G League game if the Raptors 905 feature Jamison Battle as a primary scorer tonight against the Windy City Bulls. It's interesting. It's interesting. I guess because things are just getting a little more crowded with the Raptors roster. Trace Jackson Davis didn't even play last night. That, these guys got to keep getting reps. And we don't want to slow down the development of Mobo and Battle. So they will be playing tonight. All right, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. And we've got the stars of the game very soon. That's right. Trevor J saying this as the words of wisdom. Thank you, Trevor J, Commissioner of Fun and strong supporter of this channel. You can achieve anything you truly set your heart on, but it comes with one rule. Trust that God is guiding your steps. If you commit to him and stay patient, take it seriously, and don't give up, it will happen. Man, that's fantastic. I mean, that's what Rich Paul was saying a lot of in his podcast with Fred VanVleet, Unguarded, that, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you whether you do it. You can tell yourself you can do it, you can do it. If you tell yourself you can't do it, well, you can't do it. And it's about whether you limit your mindset or not to being able to do it. Sure, it may not come easy. It may take a long time. There may be failures before the success. But if you really, really, really want something, you really, really want to do it, you can. Trust me, you can. It may be difficult. It may be tough. Unless it's like hurting other people and breaking the law and stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, thank you for the words of wisdom. Blessings to the Jones family. And all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, put your mind to it. Rich Paul said you can do whatever you want. He's proof of it. He is proof of it. Trevor J saying this morning. Brandon Ingram on a master class against the Bulls, and Jacoby keeps on stealing lunch. That's why I'm wearing this right here. That's right. That's why I'm repping the city edition of the notorious BI3. Because this man came back and showed up. You know what Brandon said after the game? And I love this. I love this because he's an ultimate teammate. He's really is one of, man, he's such a good dude, man. The more and more I know about the enigma of Brandon Ingram, the more I like this guy. He came into the interview last night after the game and said, often after All-Star break, teams are lackadaisical. We're not exactly sharp. And that was for sure evident in our offense last night. Some poor passes, really not catching some stuff, kind of just a little off. Yeah. You see it around Colin, you see it around Scotty, you see it around Jakob. And I mean, Rusty. Colin had missed a few games. He had not played in a little while before last night. And Jakob, he's really he's getting back into it. He's not anywhere near where he's supposed to be, right? So these guys going flub some passes. Maybe some of the shots that would normally go in don't go in. So Brandon, he said he's very aware of this. He's like, yeah, I know from playing in the league for 10 years that teams can be flat after the All-Star break. So I took it upon myself to carry the team, to take a lot of shots and just try and get good shots and try and carry the team. And he did. He did. Let's purely and simply that. Some people will say, well, the Raptors wouldn't have beat the Bulls last night if they didn't have Brandon Ingram. There may be some truth to that. But we did beat them, and that's all that fucking matters. That's right. The W is what matters. So, yeah, I love that what Brandon said after that. He said he felt a responsibility to help his NBA franchise win the game last night against the Bulls, and he went and did it. He went and did it. That's right. That's right. He went and did it. Also, Trevor's saying that Jacoby keeps stealing lunch. He is a pest, isn't he? On the other side of the thing, we're talking about a disoriented, not totally smooth offense. Well, that defense was the opposite of that. Holy crap, they were locked in. Holy crap, they were energetic. Holy crap, they were ready to play some defense at the beginning of the game. And, because they didn't start Yak and they started Colin instead, there was a different kind of look to the team. And they were very much trying to keep the in between the ball and the basket and really fronting people and hounding them and staying on them. And we saw the dividends pay off from the very harassing, energetic defense right from the start in the game. It set the tone, as Darko said. We set a tone for the game immediately with our really good defense. And they did. They got a lot of turnovers yesterday. And I thought it was very interesting, how the defense was working. And I love the commitment and the way these guys played. I mean, whether it's Jacoby being an absolute dog, there's a ranking that came out recently, and he's one of the top defenders in the league at point of attack. And then you see Jamal get a half court violation on Colin Sexton. You see this kind of stuff. You're like, wow, the Raptors defense is ratcheted up, and it's top notch right now. And it was very much showing last night. That's what fresh bodies will do. That's what a fresh approach will do. That's the dual side of it. You'll have the energy and go get it for the defense, but your offense may not be in sync yet, and it's not looking exactly as bright. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides to it. Bryce is here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Bryce Lawson. I hope Bryce is having a great morning so far. Have a great weekend, my guy. Raptors champs. Good morning, Raptors freaks. We took care of business last night. That's what matters. That's what matters. Now 2 days off. It's a very interesting lot of time off around the break. I mean, these 2-day breaks, we'd rather have them in the middle of all the craziness instead of around near the All-Star break. I mean, I'd much rather them be playing tomorrow than Sunday because 2 days is too long to get that rhythm and come and ease back out of the All-Star, break. But it's Milwaukee, so we should be all right. It's kind of interesting that they're playing Chicago and then Milwaukee, and they're on the road, and the 905 are playing 2 games in Windy City because it's all real close within each other. And it really helps for sending Battle and Mobo to Windy City Bulls tonight to play against them to get extra reps. So, Chicago, Windy City, Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's game is 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. Just a note. Good to see you, Raptors champs. The super fan, Monique Lawrence, is in the house. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Games should not have been that close. I don't know. I mean, it's what it is. It doesn't matter. Like, that's not a bad team. The only problem with the Bulls right now is they just showed up together. They are not gelled. They don't know each other very well. But they're talented. This is the thing. That team that we played last night has good players on it. It's just that they are not organized, and their coach just had his father die this past weekend, and he was not available to be there. Billy Donovan mourning the loss of his father from this past weekend, and that's why Wes Unseld Jr. was coaching for the Bulls last night in his place. Yeah. So this team's in disarray. In some ways, the Bulls, some of the players they've got on that team, they're switched from the other one. They make more sense now in some ways. They just haven't figured it all out to figure it together. I was really surprised Jaden Ivey didn't play hardly last night. But yeah, they are interesting, and especially with Giddey back, Buzelis, they've got some good players. They got dangerous players like Colin Sexton. We've seen Colin Sexton mess us up in a Charlotte Hornets jersey earlier this year. Now, we need to respect them, Mo. Just because you think the Bulls are really bad and we should have blown them out, that's not the truth. We have to respect every team. And in some ways, we're lucky that team has not been playing more together because they don't have their shit together yet. They're still like, hi, I'm Anthony Simons. Hi, I'm Yabusele. Hi, I'm Nick Richards. Hi, Rob Dillingham. Hi. These guys are all new. Leonard Miller, so I don't know what you expect. You want our team to rout everybody? We're not going to rout everyone. We need to just win. And even if that win is 1 point, I'm happy. That's all I give a shit. Let's see. Monica's saying thank you to BI for sure. We got to thank BI. He is my number one star of the game, guys. We'll go ahead and look at Brandon's stat line from last night. 36 minutes, 31 points. Yeah. A 30-point game from Brandon is always nice to see. In some ways, I'm crying out for a 40-point game from him. But maybe that's too selfish in Darko's unselfish system if he's getting that many shots to get there. But he did carry us last night. 11 and 26 from the field with 31 points in 36 minutes. 3 of 5 from 3. 6 of 7 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals. A plus 12 for Brandon Ingram. The thing about Brandon last night that was really, really cool is he's a two-way player last night. Games like this in the past, Brandon Ingram would be just the scorer, shooting, scoring. But that man was holding his weight on the defense, and you saw it right at the start. That man, I don't think I've ever seen him guard people so close. Like, seriously, watch some of the footage from last night and look at how much Brandon is up on people. He didn't do this kind of stuff most of his career. I'm telling you guys right now, he's changing. He's evolving, like he said, into a better defensive player. And he's getting rebounds. He's not blocking shots, but he's intimidating people not to come and shoot near him because he could block shots. He's getting a couple steals here. He's getting rebounds. He has 8 rebounds last night. So there's a more complete game from Brandon this year. Like, the scoring is fantastic. The scoring carried. He hit key shots late that kept the Bulls away from us when they were threatening to come back and take the game. And but man, the defensive intensity of Brandon Ingram from the jump ball at the beginning of the game was fantastic. And that's part of what we needed was all 5 of those guys that started, Colin, Emmanuel, RJ, Scotty, and Brandon, to be top-notch on that energy on there. If Brandon comes out there and he's old Brandon just kind of standing around on defense and just kind of letting things happen around him, it doesn't work. You need all 5 of them engaged in doing what they're doing. So I got to give major props to Brandon Ingram for holding his weight in the starting 5 to set that defensive tone. Because, man, like I said, he was up on people's necks like a turtleneck. Oh, yeah, he was. You saw that. He was wearing a turtleneck on them. That's right. My second star of the game last night is Colin Murray-Boyles. Colin returned. This was really surprising to me that they started him over Yak, but in some ways, I'm not surprised about it. In some ways, it's very interesting. I've already wanted to deal with the fire of Raptors fans being anxious for Colin to start over Jakob. And, well, it happened last night. But that was Darko's decision, and his reasoning is just. Jakob Poeltl is still coming back from injury. He's on a minutes restriction. And in some ways, we can get away with not starting him right now against certain opponents because the defensive, the matchup with the center is not that bad, right? So we could get away with it with Colin. But is this a trend for the future that we should wonder about? Are the Raptors going to start calling Murray-Boyles over Jakob regularly going in the future? And Jakob will be a big man center off our bench, even at his price? There's nothing wrong with that. Seriously. In some ways, I'm okay with it because Colin is growing so fast exponentially that, and Jakob is hurt. And it may be smart to have him be a bench player for most of the rest of the season. Now, in the playoffs, if things are different or certain matchups during the regular season have things like Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid, you start Pirtle, right? You start Pirtle. But if it's a smaller ball lineup, maybe you start Colin Murray-Boyles and you run that kind of lineup too. That's nice to have options. In some ways, it helps to save Jakob's back. In some ways, it helps to develop the young rookie further. So it's an interesting decision. And it really caught me off guard yesterday, seriously. But it made total sense. And, I don't want people to think that Jakob Poeltl is any worse for this. We got to understand that this dude is he's coming back from back injury, and we got to baby him to a degree. And if Colin Murray-Boyles can be out there and shoulder the load while Jakob's getting his feet back under him in his rhythm, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't expect this to be set in stone, y'all. Darko reserves the right to switch up his starting lineup at any time. And if you guys get into this mode where you're thinking, oh, Yak's just not going to start anymore just because of last night, don't be fooled by that. Seriously. Because things will change over time. Trust me. Colin Murray-Boyles, 29 minutes, 11 points in the starting lineup, 4 of 5 from the field. I love that. 3 of 3 at the free throw line. Perfect there. 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 turnovers, a block and a steal, a +9. Colin, fantastic, just an active player, great defender. He's out there getting in the rebounding, and that's absolutely the stuff we need. I love that he's a dutiful player where he's just doing what the coach tells him to do. This is my team asked me to do this. I go do this. That's what they drafted me for. That's what he said after the game. One of the things that I'm going to ask you to do, Colin, since you're taking instruction, is when you get the ball near the basket, maybe in the lane, maybe real close, stop passing it. Shoot that motherfucker. That's right. And I wasn't the only one that recognized this. I'm sure some of y'all watching the game last night saw a couple of possessions where Colin Murray-Boyles had the best shot, and he ended up passing it out to a guy on the three-point line. I'm like, bro, elevate and shoot it there, my guy. Elevate and shoot it there. There were at least 2 times in the game last night where Colin passed up the perfect shot that was for him. And in some ways, I think somebody actually told him, it's like, look, bro, stop doing this. You need to shoot. It's like Brandon was out there telling the young guys, you need to shoot more. You need to shoot more, Colin. Go up strong when you have the ball that close. Just go up strong and dunk it like Jacoby did. Jacoby got the ball near under the basket. He may have to pump fake a couple times like RJ, but he got up there and he dunked it on their heads. He took a second and collected himself. You need to do that too, Colin. You need to do that too. You need to recognize when the best shot selection is the ball in your hands going up and shooting it because you're real close to the basket. You almost had a dunk and you passed it up to pass it out. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? You got a dunk. You're right there. The basket's right there. Elevate and throw it down. Don't waste your life. Go get it. My third star of the game last night is Jacoby Walter. Jacoby was a thief stealing people's lunch money, just like Trevor said. 22 minutes for Jacoby, 14 points on 4 of 9 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 turnover, 3 steals, and a -4. Jacoby is evolving. I noticed last night that him and Emmanuel, they looked jacked when they came out there. I don't think these dudes took an all-star weekend to themselves. I know Emmanuel went and got some blue skies and blue water, but that don't mean he didn't have a workout place on the island he was on. Jacoby Walter, your muscles look bigger since you came back just in a week. You look a little bit more jacked. I'm not going to lie. You did. If y'all go back and look at Jacoby last night, his arms look crazy. He's starting to look like Scoot Henderson a little bit there. And well, I love it. I love it, Jacoby. Both sides. I love it. You know, Brandon said a really nice thing about Jacoby Walter last night. He said, you know, I told Jacoby near the end of the game, shoot it. You're one of our best shooters. So shoot it. Stop being bashful. Go take a shot. Seriously. You know, Jacoby Walter's hearing that from Brandon Ingram. He does. And then boom, we see a three made by him in the corner last night. Shoot it, Brandon. Shoot it, is what Brandon said to Jacoby Walter. And well, he went out there and did that. And he, you know, he is a very good shot. And I like that Brandon recognizes he's one of our best shooters on our team. That's Brandon Ingram's words, you know. He's one of the best shooters on our team, Brandon. But Brandon recognizes Jacoby as one of the best shooters on our team. Yeah, Jacoby, very professional, very much useful at both ends of the court. I love the patience that him and RJ show around the basket before elevating to try and put it in. Colin Murray-Boyles shows signs of this too. That, you know, a pump fake here, a delay there can make sure that you get your layup or dunk to go in without the defense messing you up. You know, that's great awareness, and that's patience. That's not rushing. And in some ways, I appreciate Jacoby Walter for that. And I also appreciate him for being good at his free throws and for hitting open three-point shots. So, yeah, my third star is Jacoby Walter, a lunch money thief. That's right, a lunch money thief. He's taking your lunch money. My fourth star is Sandro Mamukelashvili. You know, Sandro didn't have a huge game yesterday, but he always stirs the whole pot of everything in the game. He's just like, let's put him in. He's a spoon. He's going to stir it up. Because if anything, he's going to run up and down the court, and he'll be a great target in transition for fast break, easy transition layups like he does. He's such a whirling dervish. He comes in the lane, and he has these woo kind of layups. Woo, I'm going to throw this in like this. Whoa, for Georgia. Whoa, and he throws it in like that. It's crazy. Some of his finishes on the break are awesome. They look like a guard finishing, not a forward center. It's crazy. But yeah, he's still good for a couple threes to hit in too. 16 minutes for Sandro, 7 points, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 at the 3-point line, 3 rebounds and a block, a -8. Yeah. Sandro's just a great, steady backup big. And well, he's a necessary part of a rotation as far as I'm concerned. We saw some cool stuff last night where Darko played Sandro with Pirtle. We had the Yak Mamu, the Mamu Yak lineup. The Mamu Yak, can we call it that? The Mamu Yak. The Mamu Yak. The Mamu Yak lineup. We got Quick Shed, we got Battle Dick, we got Mamu Yak. And Mamu Yak made his debut last night. And I want to say, playing Yak with big guys is fun because we get these weird two-man big guy sets. Like there was a couple plays where Jakob worked with Sandro like in a two-man pick and roll kind of set. And Yak's the passer, and Sandro gets a nice little easy post-up shot that's really close to the basket. That was cool. That was cool. And this is stuff that Darko hasn't really flashed that he has, partly because Jakob's been hurt. But this is something that like's been hinted on all year long, honestly. Because Yak kept talking about it. He said, I'm interested to see the things that me and Sandro can do on the court together. I'm like, wait, whoa, bro. We got like barely one center and barely more. And you want to put both y'all on the court? It seems like, yes, we're practicing this behind the scenes, Raptors freak. Oh, shit. Sandro and Yak play sets? Okay, let's watch. Let's see what this is like, the synergy between the Austrian and the Georgian. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool from what I saw. It says it kind of reminiscent of the chemistry with Yak and Scotty in some ways. So I like what I saw with that. Seriously, I like the possibilities that could come from that. My last star of the game, I'm giving this one to RJ, man. And you know, some people say why? Because RJ didn't shoot well last night. He didn't shoot well, but he had the highest plus minus on the team last night. So he must have had a winning effect somehow. Sometimes you got to give a star to a guy for standing for your team. Yeah. RJ don't take no mess. RJ's unappreciated sometimes. RJ's overlooked. RJ is not an all-star. RJ is not this and this and this. But the man shows up. The man is dutiful. The man cares about being on the Raptors and doing the best thing he can do to help the team win. And it's blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice. What happens? He's out there. Nick Richards does a little goofy, dirty play on the down low, and he did get a technical for it. And RJ gave him a receipt immediately right after. Much like in a hockey fight, the instigator is not usually the one who gets in trouble first. It's the person who fights back. And that's what happened. Originally, they thought the foul was on Mamu because he was standing behind him. But no, RJ gave Nick Richard a damn good forearm shiver. But Nick Richard also, he put on a little acting show too with an extra flopping action to it. Let's not, come on now. You know that man rolled back and hit it like, whoa. You know, he did that shit. It's not like RJ pushed him that hard or nothing like that. But at last, RJ gets a flagrant. And there's a little jawing afterwards. A little talking back and forth. I mean, these guys are both good friends with Emmanuel Quickley. They share that. But I don't think they're friends with each other. Sure, words were said to each other after that little play where there were smiles, but they were absolutely sarcastic smiles and eyes rolling. You know, RJ talks some shit back to Nick Richards. Nick Richards rolls his eyes because of what RJ said to him. So it's just like, you know, I stand with RJ. You know I do. He stands for our city. He is our city. He's a true Canadian and a Toronto Raptor. And I just appreciate him not taking no shit and standing up and you know, being physical when he has to be physical. I have no problem with him throwing that elbow, that forearm. You know, this Bulls broadcast were like shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, RJ Barrett, he's not that type of player. Let's say Stacey King, he doesn't have this reputation. What is he doing? Man, RJ has this reputation. You push him, he'll push you back. You talk shit, he will talk shit back. Every action gets its equal reaction. Okay. And all that was like, all right, Nick Richards, you're going to take a cheap shot on me on a screen. I will hit you straight up with a forearm shiver. And I have no problem with that at all. RJ, 25 minutes, 13 points, 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 6 of 8 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, 1 steal on plus 14. So winning minute squeeze out there, leading in subtle ways, doing things in the shadow box score. He's a winner, man. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why you have him out there in the last few minutes of the game, because even if he doesn't shoot well all game, you know he's that kind of guy, whether it's for Toronto or Team Canada. He's going to get out there and he's going to make winning plays happen, and he's going to do his damnedest to try and make sure your team wins. So I got to give RJ all that. I'll give an honorable mention to Emmanuel Quickley for a star. He didn't have a totally horrible game. It's just that it really was the Brandon show. And all the other guys on the team were kind of just getting around 14 points at the most. We had 3 guys with 14 points, a guy with a 13 and a guy with an 11, and then a guy with a 31. And the output for Scott and RJ and Emmanuel is not the normal output. Emmanuel, 33 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 12 shooting. He missed all 4 of his threes. He was 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, and a plus 9. Yeah, I think Emmanuel's been great, man. Like I said, he looked a little more pumped up like Jacoby. His arms look bigger. Like it looked like what it looked like with Emmanuel? It looked like he had been eating. It looked like he had been eating this All-Star break like a lot. Like just putting a lot of food in his body and working it and adding mass. Because you know this whole season, running up and down the court and that traveling lifestyle, you're going to lose weight. And this is why Siakam always comes into the season at like 250, 260. And by the end of the season, he's 220, you know, something like that, or 215. So Emmanuel took the break, obviously, to bulk up, like weight-wise, because he looked heavier out there last night. If you looked at him, his body looked like he had more mass to him. And that's fantastic. You know, he was fine. Like, you know what I really liked about the team overall last night was how the percentage of how many threes they took. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Like, this is kind of like what I said in the last 2 weeks about Raptors. If you're not a good 3-point shooting team, why the fuck are you shooting so many threes? You know, like If you're not good at shooting threes, why are you shooting so many threes? So I don't know. Maybe they listened and took advice because they were going inside way more last night. And right from the start, like I think they took only like 20 threes. Other teams are taking like 40 threes out of 90 shots. So you take 20 threes out of 90 shots, that may be the right percentage for the Raptors. I don't know. In some ways, you got to worry about keeping up. The other team's getting threes and you're getting twos. I get it. But if you have a higher percentage of making points in the paint and mid range, and in transition, and you're getting your points from those kind of places, the free throw line, can you cover that difference and still outscore the other team if they're primarily shooting threes? Sure. It's just you got to get stops and you got to make sure you make most of your 2-point shots. And I like the distribution of how many shots were from outside and how many were inside. We were way more inside than a long time this season. Getting established spots in the post for all kinds of different players, mid-range shots for Scott, just all kinds of great offense that wasn't just lazy three-point shooting. Walk up and take a three. RJ took a three in the first quarter. He missed it. And that was like maybe the only three they took in the first quarter, it seemed like. They really established an interior game early, and they benefited from it last night. They really did. And, they got way more free throws because of it, too. So I like this trend. Maybe it's more possible with Yak back and different people back that they can do more like this because of some actions they can do playing off of Pirtle. But I think this is fantastic. Keep doing this. I thought it was very, very, very fresh feeling to see the Raptors take less threes and really play inside way, way more. It was fantastic. Scotty Barnes didn't have a horrible game, but he didn't have a top-notch game either. And that's why I didn't make him a star. 34 minutes for Scotty, 14 points on 5 of 14 shooting. He missed his only three-point attempt, made all 4 of his free throws, though. 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 turnovers. That's bad. There were weird points in the game where it seemed like Colin couldn't catch anything. Everything that went to him went off his hands and went out of bounds. Yak is not totally in sync, and he had some turnovers around him where Scotty's trying to throw the ball. There were a couple times where it seemed like they were trying to throw it to Jacoby, and they're just throwing it past him, and it's rolling back into the backcourt or out of bounds. It's just a lot of, snafus with sharing the ball and passing it around, and Scotty's 6 turnovers kind of, symbolize this. Yeah. In some ways, like I said, it's just like earlier I said, the teams after the All-Star break sometimes have to find the rhythm again offensively. This is all symptoms of that. 2 steals, 1 block, +8 for Scotty Barnes in the starting lineup. Off the bench, we'll go over the rest of the guys. Jamal Shed, 20 minutes, 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 0 of 2. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 steals, a -3. Jamal's struggling in some ways, but he's still very solid in certain other ways too. Man, he's bugging me. He does make some poor decisions. At least every game he has 2 decisions that I'm just like, why did you do that, Jamal? Why did you throw that directly at a Chicago Bulls so they could just take it? It's like, why'd you do that? But I like Shed being aggressive to drive on offense to try and get little floaters in the lane. I like Shed not being scared to take that open 3. It gets kicked back out to him, shoot it. But he did kind of hesitate on one of them and didn't take it last night. So we do need you to be a little bit more aggressive offensively sometimes, Jamal. But if the other guys are going to carry, you can be the backup point guard and just facilitate too. I mean, we do have a lot of talented scorers on our team, but other teams are going to maybe lay off of you and they're going to give you those open 3s. You need to nail them. You need to nail them. And once again, this has been the thing that Darko said to you since you came to the Toronto Raptors. You got to cut down your turnovers. And some of the turnovers are silly, bro. Some of them are silly. Grady Dick got out there for 9 minutes, and, man, it's just one of those games again. Nothing goes right for him. Take an open 3, miss it. Get a closer shot, miss it. You steal because somebody burns you on defense. It's just tough, man. The NBA is tough. Grady, I'm going to give you a pass. I'm not going to dump on you. You were active. You're getting after it. You were out there doing good things on defense, at least for the most part. So, but the offense will come back again. In some ways, we need your confidence and we need you to just get crazy. Whatever you were trying to do, trying to get that rebound off of the free throw, man, that totally screwed up things. And they got a layup at the other end because of that. You know that, right? You go flying at the missed free throw by RJ Barrett, and you go flying out of bounds, and you don't collect yourself. You're left back behind, and everybody else is down there. There's a 5-on-4 advantage, and they're laying up the ball, the Bulls. So that play's fun. Maybe you can get away with doing that play in college on Kansas because the talent's easier to do that too. But in the NBA, you're not gonna be able to do that as easy, man. Come riding into the lane after a missed free throw to dunk it back. Man, people are gonna box you out, bro. These guys are big in the NBA. They're fast and they're strong. And in some ways, it was a goofy play. I'm like, yeah, okay, you want to go for a highlight reel play where you're going to put a putback off a missed free throw, but you're not back on defense. And the other team got 2 points instead. So it's like we miss a free throw, which is a point loss by RJ. And then we get 2 points put on us because Grady's underneath the basket because he went try and get the ball and put it back in. I mean, I like the aggression. I like the energy. I like the thought of it. But understand sometimes that kind of stuff, just like Manuel quickly, somebody overplaying on defense and getting away, there's an open three somewhere for someone, Pirtle was interesting yesterday. He did not get a single rebound, which is weird. Some people are making a big deal out of this on social media and Reddit and different places. Why didn't Yacht get a single rebound? I know that's weird. It's an anomaly. Let's just put it that way, especially for playing this much. I don't know, man. He just didn't get a rebound. I mean, if you're going to go bash Jakob Poeltl for having a game where he didn't get a single rebound, that's silly. That's absolutely silly to me, man. That's absolutely silly. You go ahead and bash him for not getting a rebound last night, and then he'll go and get 16 rebounds next week. So come on, Raptors haters, people in Raptors Nation that think they're fans, but they are getting on Jakob because he got 0 rebounds last night. The only stat that matters, casual nephews, is this one. And that's the only one. And that's one win. 16 minutes for Yak, 2 points on 1-of-1 shooting, 0 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, a +2. Yeah, horrible game for Yak by Yak standards. But he was out there in the mix. He got an assist on Sandro. And there was a couple ugly plays, but once again, we're filtering and we're bringing them back in. We're bringing them along. We're getting them back in, integrated. And there's going to be some hiccups. Yeah, really surprised TJD did not get in the game last night. That was surprising to me, but Darko's been very steadfast with 10-man rotations. And, well, we got to look at who the 10 are if he's going to have a 10-man rotation with everybody healthy. That's the 10 right there. But it could be Grady keeps playing not so great. Grady is the guy is outside the rotation, and TJD is in the rotation or battle. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, I want to give some respect to Anthony Simons. Once again, he shot really well against us. He was an issue. You leave that man open, it's a problem. 20 points for Anthony in 31 minutes, 7 of 18 shooting. He was a -21, though. Josh Giddey returned from injury and only got 5 points on 1 of 7 shooting. He was getting very frustrated. There were a couple points in the game last night where Josh Giddey was just pissed off. Seriously. It's probably half because Scotty was guarding him, and then the other half is all of his teammates are new and they don't know what they're doing. It's frustrating him. I saw him get mad at Gershon Yabusele at one point in the game where he was just kind of like, you're supposed to be here. Be here, be here. He's like getting all stinky-faced towards his new teammates because they don't know what the fuck they're doing in the whole concept with each other. So, yeah, Josh Giddey, I guess, has levels of standards, and the standards were not met by his teammates last night. He was pissed about it. He was pissed off about it. That's right. So, yeah, just looking over the other side, I'm really surprised Buzelis only got 4 points. That's crazy. Jalen Smith is a complainer, too. I want to say that. That dude complains, man. That's not a goaltend. That's not a foul. Complaining all the time, Jalen Smith. Chill out, bro. We'll go ahead and do the team stats, too, real quick while we're here on the box score. Why not? The Raptors and the Bulls both shot the same, 42%. It's not the best. The Raptors didn't shoot that well last night. We could have shot way better. Threes, like I said, we only took 23 threes out of 90 shots. I like that. I think that's the right percentage. We only made 7 of them. You know, in some ways, it's like against some of the teams that are big-time three-point shooting teams, we probably can't do this. But teams that are not going to just kill us on three-point shots because they shot 30% from 3 also, 12 of 40 on more volume. Free throws, we got 10 more free throws than them because we're aggressive going in the paint, 27 of 31 from the line, 87%. That's fantastic. Good job, Raptors, at the free throw line. And the refs were fantastic too. Mark Lindsay, very professional, handled the challenges very well. They were right. The calls were good. Jenna Renault, very good job. Guillermo Petratus, good job. That was a top level referee crew. That may have been one of the best referee crews we've had all season. No lie. Now, did that mean they were totally fair? No, that does not mean they were totally fair. They were giving calls to the Bulls early on to keep them in the game. We kind of blew them out right from the start. We were absolutely trouncing them. So sometimes Lindsay and Petratus and Renault will give a little charity to the Bulls at the charity line. And that's basically like, well, they're in trouble. Let's call touch fouls on the Raptors. Then let's give free throws to the Bulls so they can manufacture points early in the game to try and stay with them. Because in some ways, Adam Silver, all about teams tanking and teams not being competitive because the game sucks and it's a 30-point blowout. They don't want that, Monique. They want it to be close. And in some ways, part of what the referees do is they do kind of help the team that's losing to come back and keep it close. They will do this. And sometimes it happens for the Raptors, where we're a little behind and the referees will give us a little bit more favor to bring the excitement in the game, in the competition, getting closer. So there's a little bit of manufactured free throw activity for the Bulls early just to keep them in the game so the game didn't become a complete blowout in the first quarter. There was a bit of that. The rebounding, exactly even, 46-46. Both teams got 11 offensive rebounds and 35 defensive rebounds. So very even on field goal percentage, even on three-point percentage, even on rebounds, almost even on assists even. We got just one more assist than them. That could be the Sandro assist from Jakob Poeltl. Assist to turnover ratio, once again, the key stat. And this is where we want, right here. 23 assists for the Raptors, 14 turnovers. So that's not even 2 to 1. It's close, but it's not even 2 to 1. The other team, 22 assists, 23 turnovers for the Bulls. So the intent getting on the Bulls was a huge catalyst for winning because the Bulls turn the ball over. We get to get in transition and we get good opportunities and good things happening. And hounding them with Shed, Walter, Emmanuel, Scotty, Colin, RJ, all those guys hounding them. That is the result we get, and that's how you win the game. So that defensive intensity from the start of the game, I will directly correlate it with a cause for the win. Because those turnovers that we got start right from the start and set the tone for the rest of the game are the key stat difference right there. Because everything else on this box score looks similar for both teams. 50 points in the paint for the Raptors, 46 for the Bulls. 24 points on the fast break, 19 for the Bulls. Yeah, and we led the game 94% of the game. Our largest lead was 14. Fantastic win. Taking care of business. That's right. Raptors champs saying it was good to hear that BI mentioned Walter and Battle are two of the better shooters on the team, and he encourages them to keep shooting. Yeah. I mean, it's true. You can look at the way that Walter's form is and the way the ball goes in. Like if he's wide open, I have a lot of confidence that he's going to go in because in some ways he's just like that. When he doesn't go in, I give him a lot more kind of leeway because his form's so good and he is shooting such a he's a good fundamental player is what it is. He's got very good fundamental handles. He's got very good fundamental post work with his footwork. He's got very good fundamental like defensive stuff that he does too. So yeah, I love all that, man. I do. Monique's saying shaky fourth quarter continues. Well, once again, the other team is trying to win. And the Raptors may have little slumps where they don't score for a little bit. And there's the game runs. The Bulls get a little closer. They're threatening. Think about what I just said about the refs. If the refs want the game to be a little more exciting, they want to tantalize the crowd with a possible comeback, especially in their home crowd. The Bulls are only down by 2 points with 3 minutes to go. That's exciting, right? It's a little nerve-wracking for us as Raptors fans, But having that closeness at the end of the game is better entertainment for the product of the NBA, right? Because this is a big issue right now. They're really talking about competitiveness and teams trying in this league. And in some ways, people just default thought the Bulls, well, the way they are, and they just changed their whole team. They're going to be trying to tank all year. Well, they may lose more than they win for the rest of the year, sure. But they have to put in that effort and they have to act like they're trying to win. Well, they are trying to win. It's not that they're acting. Colin Sexton, he's trying to win. He's trying to win. He's that kind of guy, right? So, yeah, I wasn't surprised by that. In some ways, the NBA is hard. Teams are good. Even if you think the Bulls are shitty, every NBA team has the capability to come and make it close and really try and steal your lunch at the end of the game. So I wasn't surprised by that, the close fourth quarter at the end. It was high drama. Thank goodness we got it done, right? Superfan Most saying her stars of the game are Brandon, Scotty, RJ, Jacoby, and Colin, and the coaching staff. Yeah, the coaching staff. Let's talk about them for a second. Last night was a very different rotation. We haven't seen a rotation like we saw last night. I liked a couple of things about it. There were a lot of quick substitutions. There was a lot of guys coming in and out and quick, and nobody was getting time to get tired. He did a really good job of cycling guys in and out, and nobody was out there for very long stretches. They were all kind of coming in and coming out very quickly. And some of the combinations, like I said, Jakob and Sandro being out there. We saw Quick Shed for a while out there when Quickly and Shed are out there together. It's just really kind of cool to see the different combinations and how they're interacting with each other, because they're still trying to figure out, good formulas for certain things in the game, as far as this group, this unit does this, and this unit does really good with this. And, the rotation was a little different last night. It was faster. They were subbing guys in and out faster. And we saw some combinations that we had not seen all year this year so far. It's very interesting. So kudos to the coaching staff for sure. Darko is doing a great job. In fact, the Bulls broadcast gave him major credit for the job he's been doing in Toronto and rebuilding our team to being a winner again. So, yeah, he's been getting major credit around the league. It's awesome. Raptors champs saying the game was close, but the most important part is the Raptors always felt like they were in control. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're playing a team like the Bulls. You can have close games like this that aren't as scary, and you can feel confident. But if you're in a game like this with the Celtics or the Knicks, you're in trouble, because they have the know-how, the veteran stuff, and they will be able to execute and come back and steal a game from you when it gets that close. So you don't want to, I like the fact that the Raptors had the 10-point cushion most of the game, but that 10-point cushion got ate up at certain points, and they did threaten to come back and get over you at some points too. So you can't do this in some ways against New York or Boston. No, you can't. And probably, you can't do that to Detroit either. So in some ways, you got to maintain that double-digit lead and keep it the way it is the whole game. You let them threaten and get in within 5, and it's some of those teams I just mentioned, you're in trouble, because those teams will know how to execute and fix it so that they win at the end of the game. Raptors champs is saying Colin Murray-Boyles should lay off the dunks. Maybe that thumb is killing him. Yeah, it's not a good sign when we see him grimacing in the middle of the game at the free throw box, kind of holding it, He's waiting to rebound on a free throw, and you can see him grimacing. He said something about it after the game, because a reporter asked him. He said, it seems like your thumb is bothering you still. He's like, yeah, it's just a thing. I'm going to have to deal with it this season. I'm just going to have to deal with it, is what he said. So, in some ways, I was wondering if the thumb was messing him up for catching passes for a little while there, because it seemed like there were a couple passes he would normally just easily just sponge, like just absorb. I've got the ball so easy because of my huge hands. But there were a couple times where somebody tried to throw him a pass and the ball was a turnover. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on with Colin's hands? His hands are one of his best attributes, because he's got such good hands as a rookie out of South Carolina. But some of the turnovers were around him, and it was because he didn't get his hands on the ball correctly. So that was weird to me. And I immediately thought, is it something to do with the thumb, right? Is it something to do with the thumb? That's right. Nako is here, the boiler. The boiler. You want to call him the boiler? What is he making eggs? I'm a hard boiling the eggs. He's a hard boiled egg. Calling hard boiled eggs Murray. The boiler. The boiler. He's gonna take you into the boiler room. Maybe, I don't know, Nako. Once again, we do not have the power to make these nicknames unless it's really good, like Trey Boucher. That's something that came kind of from this channel. But who knows? Maybe Matt Devlin will call him the boiler at some point. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Let's do a poll real quick. Let's do a poll. The boiler. All right. This is a this is a proposed nickname for Colin Murray-Boyles. We'll put the poll up for a little while here. The boiler. How do you guys like it? Let's see. We're trying this out. We'll get some instant feedback here. The boiler. I kind of like it in some ways, Nako. I kind of like it, man. Randolph's here. Good morning, Randolph Phillips. Thank you for coming in with your words of wisdom. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Have self-control. Your survival is determined by how you keep it together under unavoidable pressure that's meant to break your will. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to go on this tangent. I've had flashes in the last day or so of really grim shit coming towards us. Because I have premonitions and I don't like it. In some ways, I want to keep things light and cheery right now. And I don't want to talk about a subject where you have to have control or self-control or stuff like that, because it's sad and it sucks. Because when you go into totalitarian fascism, this words of wisdom kind of hits really hard. And in some ways, it's not in a good way. So blessings to Phillips family. I'm going to pass on your words of wisdom today because the inspiration for what I have to say is something I don't want to say right now. I really don't want to say it. We have to really watch out. You're either going to mechanize drones and AI and warfare against humans at some point, y'all. And anyway, I don't even want to talk about it. We don't need no Terminator future, but some people out there, I guess they're trying to build it in reality. These motherfuckers. Monique is here. Good. She's saying Yak off the bench was likely Yak doesn't look right. Minutes restriction is right. Yeah, he's I'm just glad he's on the floor, right? Right? Around Christmas, they told us he was coming back, and then he didn't come back for 2 months. And baby steps. In some ways, we've been winning and successful without him in the lineup. So there's no reason to rush him back in and force his role into the scheme. In some ways, this is the best. It's great that we have the luxury of easing him back in instead of just having to dive back in with him and go right through it, and with the higher risk of injury. So with Dr. Alex monitoring him telling his own perceived health from how he feels with his back, hopefully he doesn't get any more DMPs and he can play the rest of the season. But if he's on limited minutes and he's not always starting, that may be very good. So I like the decision. In some ways, I don't like the fans saying we should start calling over Jakob. But if Darko decides that, that's bona fide. I never liked people coming around before this saying, oh, Colin just needs to start over Jakob. I don't like that because I don't think that's true. But in specific cases, like the case yesterday, yes. And there may be a lot more cases where Collins should start over Jakob going forward. But that's for Darko to determine, and not the Raptors nation and their nephew takes. Seriously. Yeah. Stargate saying, I didn't see the game, but I heard Josh Giddey got crossed over something wicked. Ankles broken. Yeah, that's not standing out in my head. That probably did happen, but that's not standing out in my head right now. Good to see you, Stargate. G saying this, IQ defended really well at the end too, taking away a good shot from Anthony. Yeah, this is the thing. I want to give way more credit to the former Knicks on our team. RJ and Emmanuel are playing the best defense of their NBA careers right now. And not enough people are recognizing it. Not enough people in Raptors Nation, let alone the NBA world, who doesn't pay attention to the Raptors enough anyway. But yeah, Emmanuel and RJ have made huge leaps in their defensive side of things, just like Brandon. And recognition should be given to Emmanuel quickly also. Shed is very apparent that he's really good on defense when he gets a backcourt violation on them because they didn't get the ball across in time. But Emmanuel on the down low is very underrated right now with his defense. He's been covering people really close, and he's been putting very strong effort to work around screens and stay with people. And yeah, this is the thing, man. They contest a lot of those shots the Bulls take yesterday. They miss them, and that's running at them. That's staying as close to them. If they can't work the ball around to get breathing room to get the shots open, that's fantastic because the Raptors are up on them, just like a turtleneck sweater around the neck. That's right. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, the league is getting better and players are growing to their potential. I just want to see our players compete and exhibit growth so that we can't wait for the next game. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't wait for the game last night after the All-Star break. That week off was bumming me out, even with the All-Star game and all that to watch. No, I was like, man, I can't wait to get back to the Bulls game. And watching it last night was a treat. Watching the Raptors play last night was a treat. And I'm for sure looking forward to them playing the Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that one for sure. And, you're right. The league, in some ways, if it has more parity, in some ways, every team's going to have young players that are developing and trying to get better. It's such a competitive league. It's going to be hard to be, winning all the time. And you got to be really good with your front office. Your players have to be bought in. They have to be healthy. You have to be like working hard at this point. You can't be a lazy, talented team and win this league anymore. You got to be a working hard, talented team that is healthy and available. You can't have best players hurt or sitting out, just collecting checks. There's a lot to winning in the new league of parity and more equality across the league. And I like that. I like that because in some ways that means that the teams that are successful in winning really deserve it, right? They really, really deserve it. Raptors champ saying, I noticed Barnes was visibly frustrated with Grady Dick. I want Grady to win, but I don't know. Grady, in some ways, that pass that Scotty rifled up to him up court was not realistic to get. But some could make the case that Grady should have recognized the play developing and he should have put the Jets on to get up the court. And if Scotty's mad at him because he didn't run out fast enough to catch the ball to get an easy layup because he threw him the ball up the court, I mean, I can understand that. In some ways, Scotty is bursting and running his ass off like crazy to get the spots and do stuff himself. He expects that of his teammates, right? And I mean, I can't get totally mad at Grady because he's running around like huffing and puffing because he's just like, and just like, I got to go this, I got to go that, I got to go all over this place. And he didn't have that burst at that moment. It's just like in the video game. You have a turbo bar. And if you hit that turbo for too long on the R1, your turbo bar empties and you don't have any more juice. Well, maybe at that moment, Scott, when you threw that very up the court pass for a transition basket to Grady and it was past him, he had to sprint to catch it. It was not a good pass completely. Maybe he didn't have his turbo bar at that moment to sprint all out to get it in time, to get it and lay it up. I mean, if that's why Scott was mad at him, Scotty, you're throwing it too far. Not everybody has the same talent and fastness as you. Maybe you could have caught that, but Grady couldn't. And in some ways, he's disappointed he couldn't catch it either, too. So, yeah, that's what I say to that. Most saying Jacoby is so effective now to compare early in the season. Yeah, I mean, all those guys went through their struggles this year. Grady, Jamison, Oshai, Jacoby, Jamal. They've all gone through their struggles. In some ways, Jacoby Walter's struggles came at the beginning of the year, like Monique's saying, and he's been really solid in the last couple months. And it's the great thing about Jacoby, like I said, is even if he's not hitting his shot, even if he's not scoring, he's giving you something very, very good on the defensive end. And if anything, that's part of the reason why Shed and Walter are keepers, because they're very good defenders. And if anything, you're going to get value from them being on the court just from their activity and defense. For sure. For sure. Fiercely's here. Good morning to MJ. Good morning, fam. And happy Friday. Good win yesterday. I was really happy with Jacoby and see why he's being ranked among the top pests. Yeah. I think that there was a ranking that I posted in our Discord, and it had him as the 15th player that is the most pesty in the whole entire league. This is out of all the players in the league. They saw him as the 15th most pesty player in the league, number 15. I mean, it's not top 10, it's not top 5, but it's top 20. So they see him as one of the top 20 pests in the league, Jacoby Walter. 15. Yeah, it's interesting. Fiercely saying, I get the Bulls strategy to put all guards to break the defense, but they need to balance it. You see the post Vucevic era, Nick Richards ain't it. Jalen Smith is a bully and keeps shoving people. Put all guards in to break the defense? I didn't see them do that. They always seem to have at least Buzelis or Patrick Williams or somebody out there. I never saw them do an all guard lineup. I don't see that. You see post Vucevic era, Nick Richards ain't it. Nick Richards is a limited player. I mean, in some ways, he's kind of the modern day version of this is a big guy who's athletic enough to play in the league, but doesn't have a lot of skills. But at least he can run up and down the court at a certain speed and height and be able to rebound and play somewhat defense, right? So he's never supposed to be a starting center. Honestly, he's not really a starting center. He's a backup center. And, starting him or expecting any kind of scoring or big points from him is silly. It's silly because he's just not that type of player. Jalen Smith is a bully. I don't know. He's a complainer, that's for sure. He was complaining a lot to the refs. I don't know. I wouldn't call him a bully. I didn't see him really bullying people. I mean, there was a couple of plays where it was physical. So maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Keep shoving people. Fiercely saying, Darko comforting Grady is nice. Positive reinforcement always matters. Colin needs to be careful with his dunking. You could see him shaking his hand. He was in pain and discomfort. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, he's just got to baby the hand and do the right things to keep it okay. I think that this break was really good for him over the All-Star break. He did the Rising Stars. He didn't really play in it, so he didn't re-aggravate it or anything. Left and went home, hung around University of South Carolina for a couple days, just getting rest and relaxation. He did look fresher because he hadn't played in the couple of games before the break. So, yeah, I don't know. In some ways, it's the thing that you got to manage. This is similar to Scott last year, okay? Because both of Scott's thumbs were messed up last year on the down low. Nobody talked about that. That's why he couldn't shoot threes last year, everybody, because Scotty had 2 messed up thumbs. Both hands were messed up, not just one like Colin. So, as long as these guys understand if they're trying to dunk the ball, maybe they go with their offhand. It's Colin's right hand, dunk with your left. Dunk with your other hand. Or if you're going to dunk with 2 hands, make sure you got that thumb protected on the ball and you're not hitting it anywhere on the rim. That's the important stuff with that. Let's see. Most saying, I still don't want to finish the season in 5th. I'm with Lex here. Yeah, let me go look at the standings real quick because the one thing that happened last night, it was good. Cleveland won. They were playing the Nets, so it was understandable they probably win. But the Knicks lost. The Knicks lost to the Pistons again last night. And man, Cade Cunningham and the Pistons are perfect against the New York teams. Neither the Nets or the Knicks have beaten the Pistons all year. As much as the Raptors can't beat the Knicks can't beat the Pistons. And in some ways, I love that. I love that so much. But yeah, the Knicks lost to the Pistons last night. And now they're tied with Cleveland above us. Both of them are 7 games behind the Pistons, and we're 9 games behind the Pistons. So we're 2 games back of the Knicks and the Cavs right now. And we need to make that up. That means winning every single game we can as possible and hope that these teams start losing more and get in a bad place. The Cavs are currently on a 9-1 winning streak where they have won 6 of their 6 last games. So they're surging up right now. In some ways, we need the Cavs to have some bad stuff happen. Seriously, looking at the standings watch. I don't want to be in 5th either, Mo. I want that home court advantage. I'm completely with you on that. Let me do the straight goods on Canadian goods, y'all. I've talked about this company a few times. This is one of the most successful companies in Canadian history, and that's McCain. McCain fries, McCain deep dish desserts, McCain pizza pockets. Why not? Some people just like an easy meal real quick, throw it in the microwave and get some pizza pockets and, watch your movie. McCain pepperoni pizza pockets. This is a Canadian corporation. This is a big corporation, and they are very worldwide, but they're a huge Canadian success story as one of the biggest providers of French fries in the entire world. So yeah, if you see the McCain's logo, it is a huge corporation. It is a big food company, but at least it's a Canadian one. And if you want Canadian goods, McCain is a brand that you should buy. And these are pizza pockets, y'all. It's empty. I already ate them. So yeah, McCain pizza pockets. Go ahead and buy them. You don't want to buy the American pizza pockets. Get the Canadian ones. That's right. There you go. There's your straight goods on Canadian goods today. That's right. Pizza pockets. Reggie's here. Good morning, Reggie. It is after 10. So if you guys want to call in the show, you guys are welcome to. I'm just happy that we will likely see a playoff round. If they compete well and lose, that's progress. If they win a round, that's incredible. Well, they'll have a better chance to win in the first round if they have home advantage, right? Unless, I mean, kind of in some ways, our road record is better than our home record, which is kind of crazy this year. That's interesting. Don't you guys think so? That our road record is better than our home record in some ways? That's interesting. I don't know. Maybe it is better we're on the road for the first round. I don't know. Either way, I think it's better to be higher and have the home advantage. Scotiabank could be really good in the playoffs for the team. We know this. Lots of evidence of this. Lots of evidence of this. Yeah. I mean, we gotta, making the playoffs in some ways is a success in itself. And but would you be happy if they got swept out? No, I probably wouldn't be. I'd want them to win at least one game, if not a series. You know what I'm saying? Smooth saying the two teams that the Raptors match up very well are the Heat and the Sixers. Those two, I can see the Raptors advancing out of the first. Well, if we go by what it is right now, we're playing the Cavs. We're playing the Cavs, and the Cavs have home advantage. So we would be playing Cleveland in the first round with James Harden. That's a good thing. They would have home advantage as it stands. So yeah, if we want to get like one of those teams, we got to definitely get higher, or they have to do better. Philadelphia could be very doable if we could get up to the third spot. That's who New York's going to face in the first round currently, if the playoffs started today. That's what would be there right there. Yeah. Nako's saying any team can beat any team. The Bulls just aren't as far along as us. They're definitely not as far along as us. They just hit the reset button like a week and a half ago. They're definitely not as far along as us. They initiated a new rebuild at the trade deadline, Nako, because they traded Vucevic, they traded Kobe White, they traded most of their team, and they've got all new players all of a sudden. So yeah, they're definitely a reset, and they just hit another rebuild right now, just now. Jimmy's saying this: we can beat any team. I believe that. We're not playing our best ball yet. When we're really on a groove, we're going to be dangerous. There's signs of this. Jimmy's right. You don't have to be a pope of positivity to see it. There were a couple actions in the game last night that I was like, whoa, that's really powerful. Some of the interaction between Barrett and Ingram, some of the interaction between Barnes and Barrett, some of the interaction between Quickly and other people. There's very high level stuff in some ways on our offense that we are flashing that we haven't really totally mastered. There's just glimpses of it right now. There's potentials. And if they really get that shit down, wow, they're going to be tough to beat. Some of it's like, RJ driving in the lane and barreling in, and Brandon's in the corner wide open, and RJ throws a perfect pass to him. And rhythm, Brandon catches it and shoots, and boom, it's swished through the net. There's stuff in there that you'll see in the game, and you'll be like, whoa, wait, that just opened my eyes to potential, to a whole other mastery of our offense. And I think this is what Jimmy's talking about. We're not playing our best ball yet, that there's glimpses of more to come in some of the things we're seeing in the games. For sure. Blackhawk's here, and he's got the nerd face out. That smiley nerd face. Happy to see you, Neil. Always good to see you, and thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you also, Reggie. Select DZ saying James Harden usually flops in conference finals or game sevens, not round one. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we don't know where the teams are going to be in the standings. We don't know where the injuries are going to be. And, we got to hope for the best, right? Right. But yeah, I think this is true. What's the DZ saying? James Harden has to season himself a little bit. He'll get past the first round or two, and then he'll flop later. Yeah, this is pretty true. It's pretty true. That's why maybe we don't want Cleveland in the first round. That's it right there. Yeah, maybe not. Smooth saying Cavs and Harden are in the honeymoon phase, so they're getting the best of him. Yeah, who knows how long this will go? Like seriously, we know the pattern with James Harden. We know the pattern. It could very well be, will he be able to be in a honeymoon phase for the rest of the season into the playoffs and to the end? Or will there be some weird shit? I think that there will be some weird shit at some point. Maybe not this year. It could be next year that things are a little bit more weird with him. But who knows? Maybe he does something and something. Maybe there's some issue because him and Donovan in some ways could butt into each other because of their player builds and who they are and what they do. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll keep watching and going along in the season and see how things develop. Pretty much. That's the way to do it right there, right? All right, let me go look on the Instagram stories real quick. First of all, breaking news. Eugenio Marui is announcing that his good friend from Rexdale, Delano Banton, has signed another 10-day contract. He was with the Clippers on the last 10-day contract. Delano has signed back with the Celtics. So he is a Celtic as of today. So he's on a 10-day with them. So he's getting another tryout with the Boston Celtics. That's kind of interesting that Delano is being circled back to by the Celtics at this point. It seems like maybe they feel like he is a player who's worthwhile to take a look at. I'm wondering if we're going to get a 10-day contract at some point, honestly, because we have the ability to do that. Jamal McGlure is celebrating Black History Month right now. He went to Brookview Middle School, and he spoke to the crowd and watched this thing going on there. Very, very cool. Like all that. Let's see what else we got. Colin Murray-Boyles has the team photo from last night. You got to love the team photo, man. It's always fun. Grady and Jameson with their poses. Scotty's smiling so happy in the picture. Garrett Temple's all business. He's all business. Jacoby Walter with his trick shot from before the game is basically Curtis Andrade does the Pascal kick, and then Jacoby catches it and he makes it. What if you don't make that, Jacoby? What if you don't make that? Then it's no good. He comes over and shakes Curtis's hand. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's the score from last night. Jacoby, you had a big part in it. And yeah, there's a play that he's posted here where Jamal gets the steal. He hits the ground and he throws it up the court. Emmanuel to Brandon to Jacoby for the corner three. And it's money. And that's what Brandon's talking about. Jacoby, you can make that. Jamal Sheds posted the very same exact clip on his Instagram right after that. Yeah, some good plays there. And also getting kudos for his 94 feet of defense where he got Colin Sexton to get that violation, not getting across the line in time. He poked it away from him right at the last second. He was trying to get across. We poked that ball away, and that was a violation. And Mark Lindsay was on it. He called it right away. AJ Lawson's got the team photo. Of course, AJ will probably be suiting up tonight against the Windy City Bulls. Coach Andrew Jones has got the coaching staff from the World Team on blast on his Instagram with Scotty and Brandon sitting there, and all the staff from the Toronto Raptors were there to take care of the team while they're there. All the assistants and the PR staff even is in the picture. That's pretty cool. Let's see. There's Mercedes. Mercedes is Sandro's fiance, and she has a couple interesting things going on here. She took a picture and she looks shorter in it. And she likes to eat the Brookside chocolates. She's all into them right now. She's obsessed with them. Let's see. She's saying that adulting is realizing all you need is God, a home, a stable income, and a peaceful partner. I like that. She's also got bad news for us. She's following this weather with Toronto very closely. She's one of these people who comes from Texas. And in some ways, the Canada weather is not her favorite thing. Another storm is coming to Ontario this week with up to 15 centimeters of snow is what she's posted here. And she's saying, oh, joy. Man, we did get some good snow in the last couple of days. I don't want to see more. Come on now. It's melting out there right now. I like that. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. What else we got? There's a new president and CEO of the CEBL. The guy who was doing it last year stepped down. He had been doing it since the beginning. I think his name was Maury or something, Moretti or something like that. I forget his name. But he stepped down, and now they've got the new guy in charge of the CBL. It's Ty Mazariu, and I believe that he was involved in one of the other teams, but now he's in charge of the whole league. So he's the CEO and the president of the CBL, Ty Mazariu. And David Walker has signed with the Winnipeg Sea Bears from Toronto, Ontario. David Walker is a Canadian. He's 6'4" guard. He is signed up with Winnipeg Sea Bears for this CEBL season. Let's see. Lloyd has got a weird picture of monkeys, and he's saying, "I just got to be me," and it's a monkey with like a doll or something like that. That's weird, man. That is weird. That's weird. Sandro Mamu with more scenes from his open gym episode this past weekend. There's all-star stuff. This is all on Raptors Instagram. Sandro threw a half court shot backwards and he made it. And the Raptors official men caught it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Good trick shot there, Sandro Mamu. Let's see. Fred VanVleet Jr. playing the piano. This kid is into music, I guess, because I seen him at a recital. Him and his older sister were playing in a Christmas recital in December. And now we see Fred doing his piano practice. Fred Jr., of course. Fred VanVleet Jr. Yeah, he's playing the piano, and it's not bad. The kid's he's learning his music. All three VanVleet kids were meeting a horse at a farm somewhere, and little Layla was a little scared of it, you could tell. But Sona, she was totally like feeding the horse. But yeah, so happy to see Fred's family life. And his kids are so cute, man. They'll always be a part of Raptors culture. I'm sorry. Fred VanVleet Jr. is just like that. Okay. He's just like that. I'll always be keeping up with Fred VanVleet Jr. because of his ties to his father's playoff run in 2019. That's right. Yeah. Very, very cool stuff. The kids with the horse is what it's all about. There's a saying here. Fred's got a words of wisdom from Leonardo da Vinci. Every now and then, go away, have a little relaxation. For when you come back to your work, your judgment will be sure. Go some distance away, because then the work appears smaller and more of it can be taken in at a glance. And a lack of harmony and proportion is more readily seen. There you go. I like that. Words of wisdom from the GOAT Fred VanVleet. That's right. It looks like Fred was on Lonzo Ball's podcast. That's a pretty goofy show to be on. He's been doing some of these idiot shows. Jeff Teague, now he's doing Lonzo Ball. The stuff with LaMelo Ball is very interesting in the last couple days. Did you see the crash? LaMelo Ball driving all crazy buck wild in the city of Charlotte, ran into somebody in the middle of the day with his crazy ass 80s colored weird ass Hummer. It's all crazy. Yeah, and apparently this man has tattooed his foot like it's a Cheeto. Like he's tattooed the end of his feet, like his toes, in orange flames. And it looks so weird, man. LaMelo Ball, you're cheesy, bro. And red lights mean stop. Okay, motherfucker? Stop running red lights in Charlotte. You fucking idiot. No wonder you wrecked your Hummer. I've always known you're a knucklehead. And your outside life activities recently are proving what I knew was right. Either way, I know Fred's on Lonzo's podcast for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to watch it. Let's see. Jamison Battle is celebrating his girlfriend, Maya Jones. She has joined the Calgary Wild FC. So she's a soccer player, guys. She plays soccer for Calgary. Jamison's lady. That's right. Toronto Tempo is celebrating 1 year of Monica Wright Rogers being the GM of the Toronto Tempo. She was hired a year ago. So that's what I'm saying, man. We need players now. Come on now. Let's get the players. Let's get the players. All right, and that's it. That's your Instagram stories for today. Yeah, the VanVleet children at the farm. The VanVleet children at the farm. That's right. Reggie saying Cavs and Harden are in the honeymoon phase. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Smooth saying it's weird to me that Delano is bouncing around the NBA right now. I thought he was going to be a keeper on Dallas. Weird. Well, there's no roster spots and it doesn't really fit. You're kind of in this limbo. You're in this like in-between place. And there's so many guys in the G League that are like this. You know, that's why having a two-way is great. You know, two-way is better than a 10-day because it's at least some commitment and you know you're going to get some NBA minutes as an auxiliary part of the roster getting called up. Elijah, AJ. It's too bad Chucky's on one of our two-ways right now because it's going to waste in some ways because I don't think he's coming back for the season. So, Bobby, you may need to take a very special, tough decision with the third two-way on Chucky Hepburn because in the past, you've let this go because of injury because you needed the roster person. Now, maybe he doesn't do it. Maybe he holds Chucky, even though he's not probably going to play for the rest of the season, just to hold him because we have mostly health around the whole team and we don't need that spot as much. So we're using it to hold Chucky because we value him as a player in the future instead of just cutting him outright, right? Because that's what we did with Ron Harper Jr. That's what we did with Marquise Noel. Is when they got hurt and they were done for the season on a two-way, we cut them and we started using that two-way in other places. So, yeah, Delano doesn't have a sure spot. He had a sure spot on Portland a couple years ago, but he lost it. And now he's in that weird limbo between the G League and the league. And it's tough, man. It's a tough one right there. Yeah, Smooth saying, I just hope that Sandro resigns with the Raps. His girlfriend is too obsessed with the weather, in my opinion. Yeah, she's annoying for that. But in some ways, maybe somebody needs to tell her that. Like, people are watching you and they can see that you're all about the weather and stuff like that. I don't think he cares though. Who cares if she cares, right? He's the money guy, right? He's the one who's in the NBA. And he's from Georgia. The cold in Georgia is pretty bad, right? It's not like it's a very warm country either. So I don't think that this is anything that we should worry about with Sandro. The big problem is going to be his value's way up. This dude is on such good value this year on his contract. He can demand a bunch of money this summer. And, when I was talking to his friend Alessandro about it, because I talked to this Italian friend. You think Sandro's going to come back and sign with the Raptors? He's very sheepish about it. He's kind of like, he's got to do what's best for him financially because he's only got a certain amount of time to make his money as a pro. So I want to think that Sandro will come back next year, but I don't think he will. I don't think it's going to happen. And this will be very similar to what happened with Bismack Biyombo. Bismack, remember, was on our team for 1 year, and he went above and beyond. And then after a year with the Raptors, the Orlando Magic threw a huge pile of money at him, and he went to the Magic from the Raptors. And Bismack's always going to be a great one-and-done Raptor, a one-season Raptor like Kawhi Leonard. And sadly, this may actually be the fate for Sandro also. I'm not saying I don't want Sandro back next year, but I also don't want Bobby Webster overpaying for him to come back in the whole scheme of our salary cap. So it's a tough position. If you're asking me what I think is going to happen, I think somebody else is going to pay him a bunch of money this summer. He's not going to be on our team next year. And that's just my educated guess on it because his value is huge now and his secret is out. And he will be able to demand a good price in the free agency market this summer. And in some ways, well, we got the value from him this season. Forget him at the low cost, displaying him the way he is. And, that's what we get from it. Some people get really mad if we don't re-sign him. But that's casual nephew mindset. In some ways, Bobby's got to balance everything in the budget. And if Sandro's price has gone up this summer and it's not manageable within realistic what we're going to do, well, it will be goodbye. And that's nothing wrong with Bobby. That's nothing wrong with Sandro. That's nothing wrong with the Raptors. It's just the money of the business. And would you fault Sandro Mamukelashvili for taking a huge contract this summer with another team just because he could and the Raptors don't offer the same amount? That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying right there. It's a tough thing, and I hope that it works out. We love Sandro on our team. Hopefully, that's what I was saying to Alessandro. I was saying, look, he could go to other teams, but he knows what he's got here. And in some ways, we've given him a chance he's never gotten in any other team. And in some ways, if he has loyalty to that, or if he likes what we're building here and he wants to continue to be a part of it, maybe he will have to take a discount a little bit on what he could possibly get paid overall this summer. I've been thinking about this. And honestly, I do think that he's probably going to get taken from us because he's going to be worth a lot more and somebody will pay it. Somebody will pay it around the league. And maybe it's not smart for us. And that would be a good GM move. Some people, casuals, will be like, oh, he lost Sandro. What an idiot. I hate Bobby. But it'll be like, no, actually, that was a really smart move because we got him on a contract this year for $2 million at the value that what he's doing. And now all of a sudden, somebody's paying him $15 million for the year. Think about it. It's economics. In some ways, it's smart to let him go, get him at the early price, build his value up. And then when his value is super high, sell, sell. Mo's asking me, are you going to Raptors Fan Day, Lex? I can't. No, I'm not going to Raptors fan day. I'm out here in the woods, and every move I make has to be like pretty pre-planned and premeditated and organized. And I have not got anything coming up that I've organized that I want to go do. There is maybe a 9:05 game I want to go to. Oh, I'm going to a game with Steve. I'm supposed to go to a game with Steve in March. And I think that's the one thing I've got coming up. It's like a Sunday afternoon game that they have. I forget which team. I think it might be the Pistons. I might be going to one of the Pistons games on a Sunday afternoon in March. I think that's what I remember. Yeah. But yeah, and then I might go to one more 9:05 game before the end of the season. I might go to a 9:05 game in March. Who knows? Maybe I'll get to 2 more Raptor games. But right now, I only have plans to go to 1 more Raptor game this season. Maybe I'll go in the playoffs. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see. Mr. Quasimodo asking for it. Laugh out loud. Asking for it. Asking for it. What do you mean asking for it? Fiercely saying Jeff Doughton, too, was rehabbing, and we kept him quite some time before releasing him. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on whether Bobby Webster and the team see value in holding on to them, even at the detriment of not having them available. Like, we'll wait for you because we believe in you that much. And you get better, Chucky Hepburn. And we'll welcome you back in the fold and see you do well. Part of it is probably the injury, too. It's like a meniscus. And that's something that may not really hurt his ability to come back and be at the top level that he's at, right? Right? I hope so. Monique saying, did you preview the 9:05 game yet? Yeah, I did earlier. I'll do it again right at the end. All right, guys, let's do some birthdays. Why not? We'll check the breaking news real quick. As I said, Jonathan and Jameson are assigned to the 9:05 tonight. So Jameson Battle will be playing for the 9:05 tonight, in which we haven't seen that happen a lot. All right, first of all, first birthday of the day, we're going to say a happy birthday to James Johnson. That's right. Couple-time Raptor. James Johnson has not been playing this year. Of course, he was on the Pacers last year. He played for the Raptors for 4 years in 214 games, and he started 114 of them and averaged 7.6 points for the Raptors. So, yeah, James Johnson, happy birthday to you, sir. Yeah, I think he's 38 today, guys. 38 years old for James Johnson. We're going to go a little bit out of the Raptor sphere for this birthday real quick, and I just want to give him a happy birthday because he is an important icon in the NBA's history. Happy birthday to Charles Barkley. It is Charles Barkley's 63rd birthday today. So we're going to say happy birthday to the round mound rebound, one of the greatest personalities and icons in the NBA's history, Mr. Charles Barkley of Leeds, Alabama. That's right. So there's your 2 birthdays for today. One's Raptors and one is just Charles. Charles, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, we love Charles Barkley and James Johnson. Happy birthday to you also. Yeah, let's y'all check on your fantasy teams. We are back in action, so get your roster set so you can be the most competitive Yahoo fantasy basketball team you can possibly have. So don't sleep on it. Make sure you're getting your lineup set. I'm beating Andrew bad right now. Let's see if there's any close matchups right now. They all look pretty wide open as far as maybe MK and Kaz are kind of close or about 100 away from each other. But most of these games are blowouts, it looks like. Most of them are blowouts. So check on your fantasy team. Don't forget about your fantasy. That's right. If you're playing, that's right. All right, let's go ahead and preview the game since Monique asked me to once again. Yeah, I went over the roster for the Windy City Bulls, Monique, and some players a note just real quick. They have Mohamedou Gay, who was on the 905 a couple years ago. So we should see him playing against the 905 tonight. They also got Kevin Knox, who used to be on the Knicks. He's somewhat of an NBA player with some history. Of course, their two-ways are Yuki Kawamura, Mac McClung, and Lachlan Albright. So those 3 guys, they were sitting on the bench in street clothes. Actually, Lachlan was in uniform. He could have played. But those guys are all available tonight, I'm pretty sure. And then, that's pretty much the key players for the Windy City Bulls. The referees for tonight in the 905 game, I guess I didn't go over them. The referees for tonight, head ref will be Marcy Williams tonight. Marcy Williams, her second season as a non-staff official out of Livingston, New Jersey. Her favorite TV show is Girlfriends. She likes the movie Brown Sugar. She listens to Beyonce. She reads Eckhart Tolle. Her favorite meal is soul food. Her favorite app is Apple Music. She most likes to visit Africa. Her bucket list is to travel for a year, and her hidden talent is bowling. Yeah, Williams graduated from the New Jersey Institute of Technology with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. Her interests include cycling, pickleball, and bowling. So Marcy Williams is once again our crew chief. She's been our crew chief quite a bit this year. Claudio Mula is the second ref, number 97 out of Albania. He's in his first season as a non-staff official in the NBA. He likes the TV show Seinfeld. He watches the movie The Godfather. He likes yacht rock. This man's about the Doobie Brothers. His favorite book is The Great Gatsby. He likes eat Neapolitan pizza. His favorite app is YouTube. He most like to visit France. His bucket list is a backpack through Europe, and his hidden talent is cooking. Mula, who immigrated from Albania to the United States in 1999, attended the University of South Florida and graduated with a marketing degree in 2015. He played on the basketball team at Riverview High School in Sarasota, Florida. So that's interesting. Claudio Mula actually played basketball? I didn't realize that. So, yeah, and the third ref for today is going to be Kelsey Reynolds. Number 15 is the umpire. So that's the refs for today. Marcy Williams, Claudio Mula, and Kelsey Reynolds, the three referees for the Windy City Bulls, Toronto Raptors, Raptors 905, I should say, game for today. All right, let me wrap it up. We're at an hour and a half. Pretty good. We got done in an hour the other day, and now we're getting done in an hour and a half. We're cutting down the times pretty good. This is good. Once again, the Raptors beat the Bulls last night, 110-101. Close victory in the end, but wire victory, pretty much leading them the whole entire game. And my 5 stars of the game were Brandon Ingram, who got the chain, number 1 star. Colin Murray-Boyles, number 2 star. Jacoby Walter, number 3 star. Sandro Mamukelashvili, number 4 star. And RJ Barrett is my 5th star. Those are my 5 stars of the game. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Oh, wait, let's do the Raptors Reddit reaction real quick. Raptors Redditor of the day is Rob Rapido. Rob Rapido. I guess that's how you say it. He's saying this from last night. Raptors pizza QR code, free slice. Does anyone have the QR code for the pizza tonight? What? This motherfucker wants the PR code for the pizza for the thing? Bro, they're on the road. They only do this when they're at home. When they're in Toronto and they play at Scotiabank Arena, you can get the pizza code to get your free slice. But you can't get it when they're in Bulls, when they're in Chicago. Hello? You're confused. I know. But just realize this phenomena of pizza, free pizza, only happens for home games. So don't ask for the QR code for after away game. Either way, Rob Rapido, you are the Raptors Redditor of the day, just for your silliness, man. Just for your silliness. Oh, it's SAR's birthday today? It's SAR's birthday today? Yeah, okay, so is Olivier SAR's birthday? Let me go look at that. You're going to say it's Olivier SAR's birthday? You know, I don't put all the 905 guys on the list. I probably should, though. Yeah, it is his birthday today. Happy birthday to Olivier SAR. You guys want to know how old he is today? 27. Olivier Sarr, 27 today. I'm going to add him to the list, man. I should have him on here. Olivier Sarr turning 27. See, he's not a young pup, guys. He's 27 today. And, well, his development at this point is what it is. In some ways, it's like, is that somebody you want to keep around? All right, we're going to give him – thank you for the words for the information on the Sarr birthday, Trevor J. I'm going to give you a dunk for letting me know on that. I'm going to give you a dunk right now. We're going to give Trevor J a dunk for telling me it's Olivier Sarr's birthday. Yeah, I should really go and do the research on them, but there's so many 905 players. I'm not going to put them all on the sheet, but some of them that are more prominent, I will. People like Eugene Omoruyi and David Roddy and stuff like that. Trevor J, you got the Colin Murray-Boyles 12 on your dunks right there. Yeah, nephew, want that QR code for pizza. Yeah. Does anybody have the QR code for the game last night? Nah, bro, but I got pizza pockets from McCain. If you want pizza pockets, I'll give you some pizza pockets. But I ain't got no QR code for your free pizza slice, brah. Sorry, brah. They were in Chicago last night, brah. All right. Let's next. Of course, we got to do this. We ain't done yet. Come on now. Oh, wow. All right. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I want to see how advanced y'all are. All right. This is a tough one. Full name answer for the classic card of the day. First person to get the name gets the classic card points. And I think today's points will be at least 200, maybe even 300. Considering how y'all do, this is a hard one. All right. Here you go, guys. Who is this classic card of the day? There's some clues here. We see a rookie is on there. He's a rookie. We see the old school Phoenix Suns. Let's see who knows their classic cards and classic NBA players here today. That's right. Who do you guys think that is? Or do you know who that is? Do you know who this is? I'll give you some clues. If you put in a couple names, I'll give you some clues on the name, and you'll probably give it away right away. Slug Deezy is still here. He's calling Pizza QR code hunters nephews. So he is still here. But who is that? Who is this man? He kind of looks a little bit like Serge Ibaka. A little bit. Whoa, he is good. He's good. He's real good. He probably remembers the card. This is a pretty, this set of hoops is the second set of NBA hoops they ever put out. And the first two sets of NBA hoops cards were very popular and sold very well. So there's probably millions of this card in the world right now, like millions, And that's it. May be that Slug Deezy. Tell me the truth. Did you remember this card because you recognize this card from just like this set, or did you actually remember the player, or did you recognize the card? Because I know this card is widely circulated. I think I have like 12 of them here in my box. You get a ton of them. So I don't know. Let me know if Kenny Battle is that easy, because I'm going to give you 200 because you got it very easy. If we had struggled a little bit, maybe I would have upped the points a little bit more, but you got it pretty easy. You got it on the first guess. So I'm going to give you 200. I do see that there is skill in knowing that is Kenny Battle. So, yeah, my clue was going to have to do with our guy Jameson. That would have given it away at that point. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah, all right. Bravo. Good job. Slug Deezy, the king of the classic card, as once again, rookie card, Kenny Battle. Forward. I don't even think he played that long in the NBA. Let's see, where was he at? Northern Illinois and then Illinois. And see, he only averaged like 4 points per game. Interesting stuff. 1990 is when this card came out. Wow. That's like what, 36 years ago? Crazy. That's so crazy, man. Yeah, it's like Deezy saying, I have a big collection of hoops, tops, and Opichi cards from about 88 to 93. See, that's what it is right there. See, he has this card. So he probably did recognize the card. That's part of why he's the king of the classic card, because he has the classic cards. Who knows? It's like Deezy could do like general studying, like just get his card collections out and just start looking at the cards a bit, and he probably will remember them if he sees them on our show. That totally makes sense. Respect. Slug Deezy, you seriously are the best at the classic card. For sure. You have been for a while. All right, let's close this poll. It seems like y'all are favorable with Gerald's suggestion to nickname Colin Murray-Boyles the Boiler. All right, 67%. We're going to end the poll here are saying, yeah, okay, the Boiler. I don't know. How's that sound? How's that going to sound on the broadcast? Matt Devlin said, the Boiler, putting them in the boiler room or something. I don't know. What does he say? So put that egg in the pan and put the heat on. I'm so happy the Raptors won last night. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're going to have a Share the Love Club, I guess, because we got another day off. So I got to figure out who we're going to be sharing the love for tomorrow. Saturday, Share the Love Club, 9:30 a.m. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll react to the Windy City Bulls game tonight and preview the game tomorrow, too. Back-to-back 9:05 weekend for Andrew Jones and the team. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's go. Notorious BI3. Notorious. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, Duran from Barbarella. Let's go. 905.